Hey, what's up? This is Sifu Cuddle, and in this video we're going to be doing one of the more advanced techniques when it comes to spinning the staff. We're going to spin it over the head and then bend over and then go over our back as well. I call this overs and unders, but there's lots of different ways that you can call this technique. Now, this is something that is not limited to the staff, and you will see I have this posted in other videos later on with the 2-section staff and the 3-section staff, but you can also do this with the spear, you can do this with a Kwon Do, you can do this with pretty much any other long weapon as well. So the key thing to do though is to make sure that you have proper technique and consistent technique. So a lot of it comes into the changes of grip when we switch from our right hand to our left hand. And if you can do it the exact same way every single time, you'll be able to speed this up, you'll be able to smooth it out, and you'll be able to really look impressive when you do it. Okay, so grab a staff, let's go get to work. Okay, so let's start with just a basic exercise to get used to the consistency of the spin. So I want you to start with the staff palm down, and you're going to grab in the balance middle. Now this staff is even on both ends, so this is what we consider a double-ended staff. It's equal weighted, but if you have a typical single end style staff that's thicker on one end and thinner on the other, you're going to have to move a little bit towards the thick end to find that balance middle. If you have a staff like mine, just grab it in the center. Now what we're going to do is start palm down, and we're going to turn it palm up. Okay, so it's simple. Palm down first, palm up second. Then we can grab with the other hand, palm down first, palm up second, palm down first, palm up second. Okay, now start with it in your right hand, palm down. We're going to turn palm up. Now from this position, I want you to let go with the rest of the fingers except for your index finger and your thumb. We're going to allow the staff to go even further. So now it's straight up and down. Okay, so from palm down, I go palm up and I let go until the staff is straight up and down. From here, I'm going to take my left hand and come underneath and grab the staff. Okay, so again, palm down, palm up, grab under the staff, and I can change the hand over. It will continue over into my palm, I'll grab, so then I go from palm up to palm down. Okay, so again, my right hand is going to start palm down. I go palm up, grab, then turn it to palm down. The grab itself is going to be left hand underneath the right, and you're going to go palm to palm, okay, or palm to the back of the hand. Okay, this is like making that bird. Okay, so again, we're going to go over until the hand opens, come up underneath like that bird, and then continue the motion until we're palm down. All right, so again, right hand, palm down, palm up, and then when I change over, I go from palm up to palm down in my left hand. Now you can practice this going in either direction, but really the main thing is here, we typically only go in one direction. So it will be just your right hand going palm down to palm up, and then left hand, because the rest of it goes behind the back, okay? Now let's change the direction of the spin. So before, when we first worked on it, we went from palm down to palm up to palm down. We're going to use the same shape of the hand where we have where we make that bird, but we're going to do it how we have it over the head, okay? So I want you to start with your right hand out to the side. We're going to go palm down. We'll go palm up and towards our face. Now again, before we came up underneath, this is going to be the same thing. Our left hand's going to come from the outside, we'll grab, and then we point to the side. So again, start with your right hand, come up so that it's straight up and down, make that bird shape, and then out. So simple, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now let's do it with the staff. The best way to start this is to actually start with your hand at the weighted center of the staff, and then point the finger and point the staff down and out to the side. Notice the bottom of the staff goes behind me for this position. Okay, now from here I'm going to swing the staff forward and then bring it up over my head, and then notice I open my hand. Here I can make the hand change, and then I'm going to continue the spin, letting the bottom end of the staff point behind me on the other side. Okay, so in front, or if I'm facing this way, you can see it comes up I turn my hand until I cannot turn it any further, then it opens up. I make the bird hand, or the bird shape, and then I come back down, okay? Again, really take the time. You can pause right here, grab, and then come back down, but you don't have to worry about speeding up. Just focus on going with the flow with the staff over your head. So I can do this really slow and let the staff carry itself over. I'm just guiding it down to the side. Do this until you feel really comfortable with it. I kind of exaggerate opening up my hand and holding it out like this for a while. And really, the more you open your hand like this, the more of a chance you have to accidentally let go. So you don't have to exaggerate so much. My fingers do need to open up at some point to let it grab, but it's not going to be that open palm that you usually see. Okay. Now you can practice this to either side, but the main thing is we want to be able to do this from right to left. That's it for the first part of the spin. Now the second part of the spin, when we're going behind the back, we're going to make sure that the grab change this time is consistently hand underneath the other hand. Okay, so practice grabbing with the thumb on one hand, pointing up towards the pinky on the other hand, and we're going to grab underneath every single time for this one. Okay, as simple as it is, you're doing this behind your back, so you have to work on the feeling of it. Okay, so if you want to, take your hands, place them behind your back, get the other hand underneath, 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 and you'll get more comfortable with the feeling of this. Again, we're going to start in a more straight up and down fashion to practice this, and then later on we'll work on tilting forward. Okay, so let's start with the staff in our left hand, and we're going to start with the thumb up. I want to point the tip of the staff down, just like how we finished our last section, and I have the bottom end of the staff behind my back already. Now from here, I'm just going to continue. I'm going to drop the tip of the staff down, and then bring my hand up behind my back so that the thumb is up, and then I will grab with my other hand underneath, and then out to the side. Now again, if you want to practice this to be able to do both directions, you can. That's fine. You can do this kind of pendulum swing. But the main thing again is it's going from our left hand to our right hand and then make that exchange. Okay? So again, point it out, down, over. This should feel very comfortable before we go on to the next step, because again, everything that we're doing right now is behind the back, and we have to do it by feeling. If the staff is in a weird position and you have it improperly tilted, you will hit your head. And remember, the entire time, the staff is behind the back for this. We're not going to bring any part of the staff in front of the body. The entire time, it stays behind my back. For this final section, we're going to be bending backwards and bending forwards to bring the staff over our head and then over our back. It is in one continuous motion, so as you're doing this, you should be super comfortable with doing the first two sections, just being able to control the staff and letting it just continue its own momentum. Now, if you feel comfortable in it, go ahead and move into this next section. If you don't feel comfortable, just go back and do it some more. This is not a race. It's all about doing it correctly, and again, having those consistent hand changes. Now, when it comes to the next part, the main thing is bending over, but you do not have to bend backwards. This is something that's optional, whether you want to tilt and go over your chest, or you just want to raise your arms up and go over your head. If you decide to just raise your arms up and go over your head, I suggest that you raise your arms up as straight as possible to go as high as possible for this. It makes it a little bit more difficult, but it looks much better in the end, okay? And the option is up to you. Let's do it. Typically, this is done in a horse stance. So make sure when you're doing this, practice with the feet out towards the side, knees bent over the toes and pointing forward. Now, the first thing I would do is suggest to make it very mechanical, so have exact stopping points. So we're still going to separate the first spin from the second spin. I'll start with the staff in my right hand, go up over my head, and then point out towards the left. Okay, so this is going to be the smooth part, and then I'm going to stop. Once I have the staff touching my back here, I'm going to bend forward, finish the spin until it's basically pointing out towards my right, and then the bottom end of the staff is over my back. So you should have that in the beginning. It's okay to touch your back for this part because we're taking our time and we're focusing on, even though it's more robotic, it's making sure that you will not make the biggest mistake a lot of people make, and that is to have their head tilted up, and then when the staff comes over, they end up standing up too soon, and then that's when you get hit in the head or you find yourself in a weird position. So make sure you take the time, once the staff is here, you take the time to do the exchange and then get it over to here before you stand up, okay? And it's all done by feeling. So really slowly work on this, okay? You have to focus on the feeling. Again, from here, I go over my head, I'm going to point, bend over, finish the spin to the other side, stand up, over my head, point, bend over, finish the spin, then stand up. Okay, so again, very robotic, very mechanical here. You can see it's a little bit clunky. Later on, once you just continue the motion, you'll find it's a lot more smoother, okay? So when you're comfortable with that, then we can start doing the over and under with the tilt, okay? So again, I point it out towards my right. I go over, drop down, under, over, drop down, under. And notice I'm just casually spinning this. I'm not trying to worry about speed right now. I'm just focusing on correct technique, correct hand change, okay? Now, when you're ready to add power, there's going to be more of a circle over your head with the staff. So as I carry it over, instead of just having a single spin with my hand in the center, my hand will come over more, okay? So I make more of a circle with both arms. And you'll see this later on, it will start to happen naturally. Again, it's up to you if you want to do the tilt or not. Like I said before, if you're not going to do the tilt, hold it up as high as you can over your head. If you are going to do the tilt, try to keep it up as high as you can, but focus on not falling back and dropping down to the ground. Okay, so we're going the whole time. We want to make sure to try to keep this staff spin as flat as possible and then move our body with it. And that's it. The rest comes down to practice. Do it mechanical. But then the smoothness, the consistency of the hand changes, all of that will come over time. The speed, the power, that stuff comes over time. But it really comes down to having your consistency, okay? That's what's important. Okay, so there you have it. Now I know this went into really full detail, but the main thing is, again, consistency for your hand changes. Okay, so always grab the exact same way, the exact same time when you're switching from right hand to left hand and from left hand to right hand. The thing is, in the beginning, you may feel robotic when you do this. You may feel stalled or slow. It may feel unnatural, but that's okay. As long as you can standardize everything, every single time you change your hands and you keep the staff spinning in the same direction, then you are working towards that big goal of having this seem seamless and fluid and moving fast. So really take your time and work on it in the beginning because that will pay off greater dividends in the end. All right. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll try to answer it in the comments, but if I need to, I'll make another video going over the exact question that you have. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. Till next time, this is Sifu Cuddle.
Bye.